There's been big changes in the Rolex market. I got you guys to send in your questions, and here are my answers. I've been waiting for Wimbledon 36 now from his AD for 9 months, wondering what his opinion on how to actually do the AD dance. He hasn't bought from Rolex before. Should he keep going into the store? Should he keep calling? Or should he sit on the fence? That's the general question that he's asked. Well, I can tell you from my experience, there's lots of different ways that you can try and get the watch from your authorized dealer. There literally is no right or wrong. It's about building that relationship with the salesperson or the manager at that particular store. I have clients going in, literally no spend, getting, watches that are really hard to get. I know of clients that do spend with an AD and literally they're not getting the watch that they want years and years and years down the line. There's one thing that I will tell you, if you buy the watches that you want, genuinely want, not to buy and sell for a profit, and you keep them watches, then certainly you will get more watches offered. That's an inside tip for you. And also, you guys watching here, you might not believe, but I have certain clients that will turn down a Panda Daytona. We all know, Holy Grail, one of the hardest watches to get out of Rolex, massive spend history, way over 100,000 in a short space of time to be able to get put on the list to buy that watch. But the Panda has been turned down by clients because they don't actually want it. And then what happens on the back of that? They will then get offered all the watches that they want. They're turning around to their authorized and going, I'm a serious buyer. I know I could flip that watch into the grey market for a straight £10,000 today. I could buy it in the morning, walk away with £10,000 in the afternoon. That's what we pay over list currently on that particular model. So it depends how you want to play it. If you're definitely in it to buy a watch that you want to get and keep, then I'm sure they will actually pick up on that. They'll see you're a genuine buyer. You'll continue to go in with your watches on. You'll build that relationship, and long term you will get more watches of the ones that you really want. But like I said, today's market, don't do the dance. Don't take watches you don't want. It's not that type of market anymore. You can go straight to the grey market, find a credible deal and pick a watch up on the day. So yeah, just be careful. The Datejust 36 there that you've mentioned, was it the Wimbledon dial? Yeah, we sell loads of them at LWC to let you know. We don't pay a penny over retail. So if you was to come and sell that to me, we would literally pay your list price and we would sell it for just a touch over list. So you should be getting that watch quicker than the time that you've actually been on the list. It's definitely worth trying to build your relationship more. There's no right or wrong, but there's some little inside tips from what I've heard from my clients and what genuinely happens at different authorized dealers in the UK. What Tudor would you suggest to purchase? There's so many you can get. I genuinely do believe that Tudor are great value for money. I think there's definitely a market for Tudor watches. I think they are getting too similar to the flagship Rolex models, if you want my honest opinion, but that's just the way the market is. There's so many you can go out there. You can get one on the rubber strap. You can get one obviously on the bracelet. You can get a nod to the root beer, to the Pepsi. Black Bays are extremely popular watches. Literally, the world is your oyster. And at a price point of around £4,000 to £5,000, some around the £3,000 for like things like the Tudor Harrods and what have you. These are certainly models that are extremely popular. I still think they are great value for money when you compare it to the rest of the watch market. My only concern, and you guys have to be aware if you buy a Tudor watch, you will lose money short term. That's just the way the market is. We take Tudors in, we do sell Tudors. To let you guys know, if you're looking to sell a new or nearly new Tudor, you're going to look at anything from sort of 30 to 50% loss within the first few months. That's just the way it is. Not saying they're not nice watches, they are, but you do need to know the facts when it comes to money. And if I had to choose one, it would of course have to be the new Flamingo, that beautiful blue Tiffany colour dial. Really, really nice watch. I know they do in the pink and the blue. For me, it'd have to be the blue. I think retail price, grey market price, they went absolutely crazy, didn't they? I think they're around about 6, 7, 8 grand now you can buy on the grey market. I still think it's a really good watch, and what a cool, beautiful looking blue dial. Which one would you pick for your Holy Grail? Yellow Gold Le Mans Daytona off catalogue or Yellow Gold Tiger Eye? Oh, that is a question. For me, as much as I love the Le Mans for the history and the motorsport nod, which obviously I'm a massive motorsport fan, and they are in limited numbers as well, to be honest with you, I would have to go for the Tiger Eye. For you guys that don't know, it is the one with the dial that looks like a tiger's eye. It's also got the diamond set bezel, so baguettes normally, and then it's on the Oyster Flex bracelet. It's actually in yellow gold, so it's exactly like the watch I've got on here, but it's got the Tiger Eye dial and the baguette diamond bezel. I know a lot of you guys watching this will say that is absolutely vulgar, and you're entitled to your opinion. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You've got to be true to yourself and wear what you like. I'd like both. Unfortunately, the question doesn't lead me into that. So for me, as much as I love the Le Mans, but it only comes on the full gold bracelet, it has to be the Oyster Flex Eye of the Tiger. Next question. Ladies are going for larger timepieces like the Datejust 36, including sports models, GMT, Daytona, Yachtmaster. Are we seeing market shift away from Lady Datejust? It's actually a trend that we've seen certainly for the last 2 or 3 years. Ladies out there are choosing the bigger watch. I would say minimum now is the 31mm. When I first started in the industry, there used to be the 26mm. We very rarely see them now. So certainly 36 is a good size for if you're looking for that bigger look. And also, we're also looking at the 40 or 41, like the Daytona or like the Datejust. Still has to be a super thin case, even the Yachtmaster as well, the Yachtmaster 40, but certainly trends have changed. I think it will be here for a long time. The small ladies Rolex watch is just not fashionable in today's market. So 31 minimum, anywhere up to sort of 40, 41mm. Next question, was there anything you wish Rolex announced or didn't announce during Watches and Wonders? Well, I was actually quite fortunate because for me, as an actual watch enthusiast, obviously not a dealer, take that hat off. They did a lot of releases on the Daytona range. They obviously brought the new meteorite out. They brought the beautiful blue Tiffany, only on the yellow gold for now. Will they release it on the white gold? I know a lot of you guys in the comments saying, please bring it out on white gold. I actually do think they will. I'm not too sure for the rose. I'm not sure it'd actually sit well in that particular combination, but certainly for me, I was very fortunate. Let's answer your question. What didn't we see? I think a lot of you guys were hoping for the GMT 70th anniversary. A lot of changes would happen. Unfortunately, they didn't. The Coke, I would like to see that watch come back. It didn't happen this year. Let's hope it does next year. You know, we've got the new Land Dweller. We all know that is a completely brand new model from Rolex, including a new movement with 18 patents. So that was really nice to see. But really for me, I was actually really fortunate. But for you guys, I think a few more steals, a few more combinations, and certainly let's see a right-handed Sprite for you guys. I know I get that asked all the time. A Jubilee Ruby, I think that'd have been nice, and also really nice to see the Coke back. Hi Charlie, what do you think of the Tag Heuer Monaco McQueen model? I think you touched on it at Watches and Wonders. I actually really like the Tag Heuer Monaco. I think it's a really nice looking watch. I know it's a very popular watch. We unfortunately don't stock it at LWC. There's a massive connection with Tag Heuer and Motorsport. For you guys that don't know, they were together, they were partners, you know, back in the 70s and 80s. In fact, I think I've actually got a stopwatch, a Tag Heuer stopwatch from the 70s, 80s period at home somewhere in a little box. So for me, I think it's a great watch. I think it's a really, obviously we all know Steve McQueen, massive motorsport connection as well. So I think it's a great looking watch. Price point, again, I don't think it's stupid in the marketplace. And obviously it has that beautiful motorsport connection. So yeah, great watch. As a new watch collector, and already owning an Air King and a Day, what should be my next 2 watches be? Well, they're 2 completely different watches. So I think the Air King's definitely a Marmite watch, certainly for you guys out there. It's a really good entry-level sports professional. Then you've got the Day. I've actually got one here. This is gorgeous, by the way. So this is the 40mm, which all Day dates are for the gent size. This has got the yellow gold presidential bracelet, and this one actually has my favorite dial, which is the silver Roman numeral dial and the gorgeous factory diamond set bezel. So as you can see, Air King to this watch, massive jump. I think you need somewhere in the middle. So I'd say another potentially sports professional, something that you could wear for daily. Probably I'd go along the lines of the Submariner Day. That is such a good go-to. This is 41mm. You can get the 40mm, the discontinued one. That was discontinued in 2020. So if you want to stay along the same size of watch, that's what I would recommend. Price-wise, I'd say around about the £9,000 mark is a fair price for a really clean, late 40mm Submariner Day. And the other one that I'd choose, obviously, you know, you do like gold, so let's look at something, you know, in the 40mm range. Why not go for a Daytona? You could go for a Daytona on a full gold bracelet. In fact, I've got one here. So this is rose gold. So we've got the full 18 karat rose gold bracelet. We've got the full 18 karat rose gold bezel. This has the absolutely gorgeous discontinued sundust baguette diamond dial. What a watch that is. Price on this is about £45,000 to let you know, but certainly that'd bridge the gap again of the gold, something a little bit different, staying on the 40mm size. Also, it's got a super thin case, so it won't feel too big for you. And like I said, the world's your oyster. You can certainly choose a yellow gold. And if I had to choose a dial in that, I would choose the Paul Newman dial. I would choose the John Mayer or the new John Mayer dial. Or the other one I'd actually choose is, of course, the Pikachu dial. That is one that you can still get in the full yellow gold Daytona. Next question, are Bruce Wayne still a popular model in your opinion? Do you see it being discontinued next year? That is an extremely popular model because the predecessor, the one with still got the green GMT hand, was still and is still a very popular sports professional watch. The Bruce Wayne, the Jubilee, is unfortunately not as popular as the Oyster. The Oyster is the best seller because the new two-tone bezel from Rolex is more subdued, it's more subtle, it's more under the radar. If you want to ramp it up, you can go Batman, Batgirl, or you can go Pepsi. So the Bruce Wayne has its own audience, it has its own market, it sells for above retail to us, we pay more than list, and we sell for more than list on the grey market. Extremely popular watch, it'll stand the test of time because the old one is still being sold today at a vast rate because it's still an extremely popular watch. So to answer your question, yes, very popular watch. If I have a platinum Daytona with the ice blue baguette diamond dial and a Starbucks, is it worth getting a GMT meteorite dial? Well, the GMT meteorite dial is a very popular watch. I think it's very low in the marketplace. We actually had one in only a few weeks ago, literally sold out within hours. Price wise on the meteorite GMT, for you guys that don't know, it's around about the £40,000 mark, maybe just a touch over for the meteorite dial. We sell those on the grey market for around the £43,000 to £45,000 mark. So considering it's a rare dial, considering all the things that the meteorite is with regards to rare and availability, I think it's definitely worth picking up. If you like the bracelet, you're a bracelet guy, you got a platinum Daytona, that is an absolute daddy of a watch, by the way. Best dial, baguette diamond in my opinion. The meteorite will be a great addition to that. I think it's one of those, it's a watch person's watch. It always gets that nod of approval. All the clients that I speak to do like that watch and would love to certainly add one to their collection at some point. So yes, answer your question, great watch, low in the market price and really, really special watch. How do you think the Trump tariffs will impact the global and especially UK luxury watch market? I actually shot a video a couple of weeks ago. If you've not seen it, check it out on the channel. We did a deep dive into how the impact, and there is an impact in the global watch market. It is ever changing. Obviously, there's a lot of political tension at the minute. You know, certain countries have certainly had their taxes ramped compared to us in the UK. Currently in the UK, it was 10%, which is a flat rate. Some of the other countries, you know, we're looking at Switzerland, looking at China, you know, we're all looking around 25, 30%. The EU around about 20%, but as of course, it's ever changing. We can give you live information at the time of filming. But yeah, it's definitely had an impact. Let's see how it sort of pans out over the next few months. I'm sure there'll be more changes to come and hopefully, you know, let's be honest about it, more wealth, more sort of creativity of jobs in the US is not a bad thing, but let's not impact the luxury watch market because for me, that's what is really important, the global luxury watch market. Next question, will you think the Lefty GMT stainless will be harder to acquire at an AD now that there is a new white gold version? Could grey market prices go on the Lefty stainless? I actually don't think they'll change. Actually, again, did this in another video. If you've not seen it, check it out on the channel. But certainly, it's a high demand watch. It's one that you guys do want to pick up. Both the Oyster and the Jubilee, both very popular models. In fact, I'd say the Jubilee just edges it slightly in sales and desirability. I think because the new model's been released from Rolex, we've certainly seen a little bit of a dip in prices. I think they definitely level out and then they'll get back to normal. I still think it's undervalued. I think it's around about 15,000, just a touch under, just a touch over, depending on the actual year and condition. The demand will always be there for that watch. The new left-hand drive, white gold, green ceramic from Rolex is not going to affect that market. It's a different buyer, and I'll tell you now, the buyers that I know and the buyers that I've spoken to will not be ordering that watch in 2025 from their authorised dealer, purely because it's not a watch that they look to buy, wear, enjoy, or certainly put away. It's a bit of a curveball from Rolex. It's obviously something that they like to prove. It's the first ceramic dial they've done in any lineup. Is it a winner? I don't think so. There's no depth to the dial. It's literally flat green. So for me, it will not affect it. And the stainless steel Sprite still lives on for another year. What was your initial reaction to the Land Dweller? My personal opinion is it's really nice to see Rolex doing something new. It's a completely new model. I like the oyster quartz back in the day, the 70s and 80s watch. They used to do it in the steel and gold and full gold. I used to sell them back in the day. I love the way that the case articulates onto the bracelet so it looks as one, and it's a flat Jubilee bracelet. I really like that. I love the open display case back. Again, really classy from Rolex. They should have been doing it on a lot of other models many years ago. The new movement, we all know, it's got the new 10th of a second timekeeping, the 5 hertz, and also it's got the 18 patents on the movement. Again, really nice watch. I think it's a bit dressy, so for a lot of you guys that like sports professional, I actually don't think you'd be ordering that to actually keep yourself. You might be ordering it just to flip for a profit, but for you guys out there that do like the Datejust range, or certainly if your good wife or your good lady likes that sort of look, I do believe the rose gold will be ordered for the lady, just purely because it looks quite feminine. If you've got any more questions you would like to me answer, please drop them in the comments below, and YouTube thinks you should watch this video next.